Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Bachelor Recap, a guy's review. As always, it's your boy, Dave Neal. How's everyone doing today? You doing all right? This is the Greatest Seasons, Episode 1 with Sean Lowe. Are we ready to do this? Little bit different scenario. We're able to watch a full season take place in under 3 hours. This basically just lets everyone know that they've been hoodwinking us every year with too many commercials, too many Neil Lane sponsorships, too many coming up next, previously, too much of that BS. So what do? They got 3 hours to fill here. We do a whole season of love. Boy, the amount of footage that they have on the show The Bachelor, they could literally never shoot another season again. They can just CGI different seasons together and create characters. You know what I mean? And what I like about this season is it takes place in 2013. And this is, while Instagram was around in 2013, believe it or not, it didn't have the industry that it has today, right? Like nowadays, people go on The Bachelor, they go on The Bachelorette, they just want to get verified. They want the blue check mark. They want to sell Instagram tea, whatever it is they're going to do, right? But back in the day, I'm actually giving these ladies the benefit of the doubt that they're on the show for the right reason. Don't prove me wrong, ladies. So we'll get right into it. And if you don't know, if you've never watched me before, I take notes. I read them back to you. Zero edits. We're just hanging out, right? We are just hanging out. And by the way, at the end of this recap, I will give you guys my take on the petition that's happening right now to make sure that the next Bachelor is a Black Bachelor. There's a petition happening that all the previous contestants, a lot of them are signing, including Rachel, that they want more people of color to be on the show. So I'll give my take at the end. So stick around for that. And if you haven't done this already, subscribe, hit the button, like it, leave a comment below. You guys know I respond to all the comments. Look, this isn't the Bachelor show I want to recap. You know what I mean? This is like when you have beer goggles on at the end of the night and you start thinking everybody looks good. You start settling for shit. That's what this whole season is. All right. We're just going to enjoy the process and then hopefully coronavirus will pass. I hope you guys are all healthy out there and we can get back to Claire's season, which will be interesting because apparently no guys want to go on it. They're like paying people to go on it. They're on Craigslist. Like, please, will some guys want to date our Bachelorette? All right, let's get into it. Oh man. By the way, did you see Chris Harrison's setup? And is he not stealing my setup? You know what I mean? It's like, come on, Chris, a little credit here. All right, Sean Lowe, let's get into it. Not too many differences since 2013. Less props when the girls meet him, right? Nowadays, you have to have a prop or a gimmick. You got to ride in on a horse or a boat or something. Back in the day, no props. They just showed up. They looked cute. And by the way, 2013, no lip fillers. The ladies of today's world, it's all injections. Back then, not so much. All right, we have Sean Lowe and Leslie. They try to set the Guinness World Record for the longest kiss. Didn't you guys love that book, the Guinness World Record book? Remember that thick book? Just giant coffee table book? That was before Google existed. So if you wanted to know weird things, you had to go in the Guinness World Record book and see who had the longest fingernails. Anyway, I wish we could have audience cheering for them after the fantasy suite. Wouldn't that be nice? Because there's an audience around them all cheering for their 3-minute long kiss. I feel like they need the Guinness World Record guy with his stopwatch in the fantasy suite being like, you lasted longer than the last one. Maybe, maybe not. Okay, we have Sara Heron. Is that her name? I should have looked this up. Is it Heron? You'll correct me if I'm wrong. The one-armed lady. She Skypes in to update us on life. Her boyfriend is the exact same Sean Lowe replica. They're identical guys. She was like, you're going to dump me on national TV? I'm going to find another version of you. I'm going to out you. All right, the fireworks fly. Here's the thing. The Bachelor, seasons come, seasons go. One thing that never changes is there's always fireworks. And there's two funny things that happened. You have the person who's experiencing the fireworks, right? And she's having the time of her life. Oh my gosh, fireworks, amazing. But then you've got 20 other girls that are like, fireworks? Are you kidding me? That slob got him. You know what I mean? Really brings out the best in all of us. Just angry people. Samantha got fireworks. You blew the firework budget on Samantha. There's one constant And by the way, I don't exactly know what I'm going to be talking about on these recaps because it's like, I really don't want to do play-by-play coverage of everything that happened in a full season. You know what I mean? Like, that's ridiculous. I'm not going to take those types of notes. That's too much energy. But I like seeing the different seasons because there's always those similarities. Like, for instance, the camera guys on the show. These are like SEAL Team 6 camera guys. These are the best reality camera guys you can get. No matter what is going on, the camera guys will find an angle to get the shot. Don't you love that? Okay, we got the klutz Tiara. She's is she still alive? They said no one's talked to her. It's like I'm kind of wondering if she's alive. She's falling down the stairs. She's catching hypothermia. Drama queen. You gotta love a drama queen, right? By the way, I've done the polar bear plunge 6 times. I'm from Rhode Island. Let me tell you something. Nothing's colder than a Rhode Island on New Year's Day, and you don't get hypothermia from running into the water and running out. You just don't. You know what I mean? What happens is the air compresses around your lungs and it feels like, you know, you're getting bear hugged. But you don't freeze to death. You just go warm up afterwards. She's shivering like a wet chihuahua out there. All right. Then she's got that raccoon eyes happening. Okay, we have a fight that breaks out because a girl said good morning and the other girls didn't say it back. Look, it could be 2020, 2013, or the year, 20 AD, and women are going to fight over stuff like this. I said good morning to you and you continued eating your bran muffin. Have a little class, Samantha. I think you're a little above us because you got the fireworks and we didn't. That's a callback, folks. Come on, stick around. Don't forget to subscribe. Oh, I talk about peak domestic life. I got a soda stream during the quarantine. I'm just living it with this Diet Cola. That's beautiful. All right, Tiara's defense. She said, I can't control my eyebrows. That was her defense. I guess that was a famous saying. I just can't control my eyebrows. The best part of fighting on these shows are the bystanders. Those are the best because they're just looking at her like they just saw Bigfoot. They're like, what did that bitch just say? Oh, that's the best. Luckily, Sean was able to cut her loose because guys like some drama, but not too much drama. Okay, it's like bondage, right? We like a little bit, but nothing excessive. You know what I mean? Clamp on some nipples, but don't do any irreparable damage. If you know what I mean. Hypothetically speaking, how's my hair, guys? I haven't had a haircut in a few months. I'm still surviving here in quarantine. Wow. Can we open things up already? Tiara declined Chris Harrison's invitation for a chat. It kind of makes me want to know what's going on with Tiara. Sean Lowe ditched Desiree after hometowns. Do I even need to recap this stuff? Like 7 years later, and I got to know these things. Desiree's brother called Sean a playboy, and technically he wasn't wrong because the next day Sean dumped Desiree. So I guess the brother was right. All right, 7 years later, Des has aged well. Very nice. And she has kids. Wow. You know what I mean? If this show couldn't get worse, Pilot Pete shows up with his new chick, Kelley. They look good together. They look okay. It's not too often you get to date a girl, dump her on national TV, and then you fall in love with her again. Like, what's up with that? I think she looks better now than she did on the show. Is that possible? Look, he's a pilot. He has an overbearing mom. He needs an overbearing girlfriend. That's how it all works. Kelley looks like she's in a hostage video with Barbara. Barbara scares me too much. By the way, I could feel a collective groan amongst Bachelor Nation when Barbara shows up. Everyone's like, oh boy, here we go, Barb. So every episode of this best of, we get to see someone's heart get broken at the altar. So this is fun. We don't have to wait a whole season for that. We get to see people's, and it's 7 years later. So I'm like, does he break her heart or her heart? Like, I'm having trouble remembering. 7 years ago, I was 28. I was living single life. I was swinging my, you know what, and it was a good time. I was shooting off fireworks, if you know what I mean. And here we are now. This is the first year that I'm engaged. I got engaged in Thailand, which is interesting because I think that's where Sean was. Got engaged in Thailand. Sean dumps Lindsay at the altar. Was that Thailand or Philippines? Wherever it was. It was beautiful. He dumps her at the altar. A+ acting. How do you do that? Guys, do you realize, I was talking to my fiance Tasha about this. We don't remember what I said when I proposed. I blacked out. my fiance blacked out. We were sober, but like it was just this whirlwind moment. I have it on video, but from far away, so I don't know what I said. She's like, babe, what did you say? And I'm like, I don't even know. Like I was like, it was hack, whatever. I really bombed it. I was like, we've traveled the world together. I'm sweating. It's 7 a.m. 100% humidity. You know what I mean? I got like sunscreen in my eye. I'm bleeding because I just fought off a spider. It's a whole story. If you want to hear the story, go watch the SAP, listen to it. I always post a link about that story there. But anyway, it's like, and then Sean, he's breaking up with somebody, but he does that perfect 3 minutes into the breakup and you don't even know if he's breaking up with you yet. Like, why do the leads lead on the person they're about to dump? Is it for ratings? Because if it was me, if it was any normal person, as soon as you know you're going to break up with them and they're walking across the bridge, you're like, no, don't stop smiling. This is going to suck. You know what I mean? As he's breaking up with her, he tells her he loves her. That's crazy. And then he's breaking up with her. He looks like a young Will Ferrell playing a guy who's playing the Bachelor in a comedy. It almost looks surreal to me. Anyway, Lindsay handled it well. She did great. The best part of Lindsay getting broken up with is she takes her shoes off. Listen, let me tell you guys something. Ladies, when they take their shoes off or their earrings off, they're done. The first thing my lady does, she walks in the door, earrings, shoes, and then she does this one move. She does this one move and her bra's off. I don't even know what that is. She doesn't even touch. She just does that. She just does this thing where she goes and her bra's off. That's it. Anyway, did you like that sound effect? That's called comedy. Then we do a Skype call with Lindsay. 7 years later, looking great. She's looking great. You know what I mean? It doesn't help that they've got this really poor, low quality Skype footage, but she looks fantastic. By the way, shout out to Chris Harrison for having his book positioned in both camera angles. The master promoter. Chris Harrison's so good at promoting. He put his book right in the same spot that I've put the sign for my podcast, the SAP. Just go to sexactuallypodcast.com or click on the playlist and you can see a whole bunch of interviews that we have with other comedians about their dating lives. Anyway, back to this. We've got a spoiler alert. 7 years later, Sean proposes to Catherine. She was the inspiration for Madison's eyelashes. She had the goopy eyelashes, but here's the deal. This was 2013, folks. This was anybody's ballgame. You had goopy eyelashes in 2013. That was in. Madison did it in 2020 because she learned it at Bible camp. And let me tell you something, Madison, it ain't in anymore. Comb out the goo. You look like John Travolta in the, what movie was he in? But I don't know. Some movie from the 60s. What was it? What was the movie John Travolta was in where he played the Grease Lightning? Grease? Oh my gosh. No edits. I ramble. Sometimes I'm off. I'm going to be interested to see how many people are actually watching this show and watching these recaps, because it's like for the Listen to Your Heart recap that I did, that was cool because nobody was working. Everyone was stay at home, but now like half the country's reopening. So like, are you guys even watching this? Leave a comment. Let me know. I'm doing roll call, folks. Are you watching this? Leave a comment. By the way, speaking of Listen to Your Heart, I got a really nice shout out from Ryan Neal. I'm a fanboy. I'm a big fan of Ryan's music. And if you watch Listen to Your Heart, him and Natasha were paired up as a couple. They did really well. They were really good. They released a song together on Spotify. Anyway, they had a really nice Instagram live where they gave me a shout out. I will put that at the end of this video if you want to see the 5-second shout out where he gave me a shout out for my recap. So thank you, Ryan. Here's a shout out to you for shouting out my recaps during your shout out. Anyway, we're almost done. We have a televised wedding. Sean Lowe's dad nails it. Boy, he's got the chops to replace Chris Harrison. Just kidding. Chris Harrison will never be replaced. Have you seen him? He's reverse aging. He wears this. He just takes the tears of all the past contestants and uses moisturizer. All right, that was it. So look, I told you up front I would talk about this petition. That there's so much Bachelor news happening. Obviously, the Black Lives Matter movement is amazing right now. It's one of the greatest, if not the greatest, civil rights movement of our time. I'm going to take this second to promote a video I released this morning. It's 8 minutes and 46 seconds long. The video I released, which is how long George Floyd had a knee put to his neck when he was brutally murdered. And I made a video where we traveled all over Los Angeles supporting Black-owned businesses. There's been a lot of love, putting your money where your message is. So we thought it would be a good idea to just go support some Black restaurants. And we made a video, so you can click the link wherever it is and check that out for me. Leave a comment. And anyway, the petition for a Black Bachelor, I think the Black Bachelor is way overdue. I think by making it, by doing a petition where we're going to boycott if we don't have it one, it really invalidates whoever they choose, because I think Mike should be the first Black Bachelor. He was a contestant that everybody loved. He seems like a great guy, right? If the producers of The Bachelor feel like they're forced to do that, I think he's going to get a lot of hate. But maybe sometimes you need to force somebody's hand. So I approve. I approve that petition. I think it should be good to throw a little spice in there. I mean, it's true. There's a lot of white dudes that have been The Bachelor. Like, let's mix it up a little bit. It's almost insulting that they're okay speckling in some diversity in the class of contestants, but not as the lead. You know what I mean? So let's make it happen. All right, leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think. And thank you guys so much for your support. You guys have supported me for so long. So many people have started listening to the podcast. Some donate to the Patreon, which is a private membership service, all because you found me here doing these dumb, silly little recaps. I love doing these, to be honest. This has helped keep me sane for the last 3 months where we've been holed up in our 600 square foot apartment. I lied, 550 square foot apartment here in the center of Hollywood. Okay, there's a lot going on. There's gunshots and protests and helicopters everywhere. It's a crazy time out there. Sometimes you got to burn off a little bit of the oil and clean things up afterwards. So I hope the city's done burning. I hope you can enjoy my other content, and leave a comment below, share some love. And yeah, it's always good chatting with you guys. So I guess I'll see you next week. I guess we're going to do this whole season. You know me, I was never doing like The Bachelor in Paradise and all that because there's really no storyline. But then I remembered, I was like, do I even need a storyline? I'm just writing notes and talking to you guys. Like, if you came to see a recap that gave you all the X's and O's of everything that happened during the episode, bye, Karen. This just ain't it. You know what I mean? We're here to kind of bullshit and all that jazz. And I appreciate you guys. Like it, subscribe. See you next week. Bye, everybody.
Yeah, I saw a guy, I'm going to shout out, his name is Dave Neal. He has the last name that I do, and he's hilarious. He's a comedian on YouTube, and he does recaps of every show. It was hilarious all season, so shout out, Dave.